our weekly snippet on Maastricht stories, I thought I'd discuss a church for a change. We've been talking a lot about all sorts of military stuff. And of course, the traditions of church and state have been very closely bound together in Christendom for at least 1,000 years. And the same applies to Maastricht. But I thought for now we would take a people's church and stay away from politics and power struggles as far as we can. I would like to talk for a few minutes about St. Matthew's Church of the Matthijs, as the local people will say. The present church is medieval and early Gothic style. There have probably been 2 earlier churches there. We don't know very much about them. And this church was, the church as we can see it today, was built either in a bit of a rush or with not quite enough attention. If you go and look at it, you will find there are some things not quite in alignment or not quite fitting together. So there have been some mishaps in measuring and carving and building. Never mind. It's a gorgeous early Gothic, very serene sort of space. And also there is nothing of the pomp and circumstance that characterizes our great churches of Our Sweet Lady, the Bishop's Church, and Servaas, the great saint and patron of the city church. Of course, they had their churches for the parishioners as well. Our Sweet Lady's was accompanied by the parish church of St. Nicholas. Servaas still has its neighbor, St. John's, to provide for the common people. That is what St. Matthew's, the Matthijs, did for a very, very large part of the city for a very long time. Provide for the people. And of course, there have been hundreds of years when the situation was fairly stable. And there have been several periods when this situation was very much not. The wars of religion in Europe, of course, have also affected Maastricht and its parishes, its people, its churches. In the 16th century, the Protestants, specifically the Calvinists, the most strict new Protestant faith, took over the church for a while. In the 17th century, that situation was normalized, and at the end of the 18th century, that was turned back again, because then Maastricht was part of France and religion was pretty much abolished. In the 19th century, the entire neighborhood around St. Matthew's deteriorated rather horribly. Industrialization did nothing to alleviate poverty. Quite the contrary, it made it much, much worse. And the priests and the boards of St. Matthew's have tried to do what they could with the very limited means they had. But conditions in the quarter continue to deteriorate well into the 20th century. By that time, the city was building elsewhere, and the quarter was emptying out. The entire neighborhood around it became just, basically slumps, and most of those were razed to the ground, and a new neighborhood was built. You will find it behind St. Matthew's. Go and have a look. It's a pretty good attempt at rebuilding an inner city, and in much better conditions as well for the people who live there. St. Matthew's is accessible during the services. They have a sign outside mentioning when they are. Go and have a look. Bye.